Welcome to In Depth for a look at what is making mining headlines in the Americas. The American author Mark Twain once said, "Reputation is a hallmark. It can remove doubt from pure silver, and it can also make the plated article pass for pure." And China-focused Silvercorp's reputation has come under further strain after new allegations of impropriety against the miner surfaced from yet more unnamed sources. Mine Weekly's Deputy Editor for North America, Matthew Hill, joins me to give some insight about them. Matthew, where do these new claims come from, and what are they saying?
Yeah, that's a great quote from Mark Twain, particularly given the circumstances. Many companies that have assets or operations in China but are listed in the US or Canada have taken massive damage to their reputations over the past few months since all these allegations of fraud against companies like China-focused, many others, China-tech in the US, and then now most recently Silvercorp have emerged. And Silvercorp's done pretty well to protect its damage and to prove that prove that it is made of pure silver and it's not just silver plated. But all these reports have taken their tolls on the company's share price, and despite the fact that it's gone to great lengths to try and limit the damage, and it's published when the first anonymous fraud claims arrived at the end of April. It took the step of publishing nearly 300 pages of documents, including its bank statements here in Canada to show that it does have the money in the bank that it claims to, tax filings in China, and the really point-by-point response to this anonymous letter that it received. Now, you asked about the most recent claims that another anonymous report that appeared on the website alfredlittle.com, what they say. A lot of the points that they raise are similar to the initial anonymous letter. They say, I guess some of the main points are that they try and make are Silvercorp. They reported a profit in 2010 to the American authorities, whereas they claim that it actually reported a loss to the Chinese authorities. It also raises questions around the sale of a 5% stake in its flagship Ying silver mine in China for about that they say that got sold in auction for about $7 million US. Silvercorp says that the sale was made to an affiliate of its joint venture partner, so the price was really inconsequential. And there's a few other problems that they raise, which are similar to the initial letter.
Matthew, Silvercorp first found itself accused of fraud when it received an anonymous letter from someone claiming to short the stock in early September. Is there an overlap between what the two different accusers are saying?
Yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of overlap between the two reports. As I mentioned, the issue of whether or not Silvercorp reported a loss in China for the 2010 year, and then reported a profit to the American and Canadian authorities. But then an interesting a website popped up on the 14th of September claiming to be authored by the people who wrote the initial report on Silvercorp, which was posted to its auditors Ernst & Young in the US. That letter also now picks up on some of the points that the alfredlittle.com report raised. And I mean, there are some really bizarre questions that the reports ask, making points like they got their investigators to collect rocks that have fallen out of the trucks leaving the Ying mine, which they got assayed, and they said that the grade is about half of what Silvercorp claims at its Ying mine. They also say that they counted the trucks leaving the operation, looked at the capacity of the trucks, multiplied the amount of trucks leaving the mine by the design capacity, came up with a figure that they said is a lot less than a production figure that they say is a lot less than what Silvercorp claims it's producing. Both methods are quite questionable, I guess, not completely scientific anyway. And of course, Silvercorp refutes all the claims that all of its unnamed assailants have made.
And how much credence is the market giving to the claims from AlfredLittle.com?
When the Alfred Little report first came out, the share price of Silvercorp fell pretty sharply. And in fact, Muddy Waters, the US Hong Kong short seller who was behind the fraud allegations at China-focused, which are still unproved, though the Ontario Securities Commission has given them some credibility by cease trading the shares on the TSX, and also taking the pretty unprecedented step of asking the CEO or chairman of that company to step down. But then the share price, the Silvercorp share price fell when the report first came out, and then Muddy Waters tweeted that they agreed with some of the points made in AlfredLittle.com's report, and that they were also in fact short on the stock, which means that they're betting that the share price was going to fall further. But once Silvercorp came out with yet more documents backing up its version of the story, in the beginning when the report surfaced, it published nearly 300 pages of documents which it says proves that it's telling the truth. Tax filings out of China, bank statements in Canada showing that it does have the money it claims to have in the bank. And then when AlfredLittle.com published its report, Silvercorp responded by posting yet more documents to its website, bank statements, tax filings. They even got the Chinese government to stamp the document saying that they had paid X amount of tax over the past few years, and they say that this proves that they are doing what they say they've been doing. And the share price of Silvercorp has responded positively to their latest response to the latest round of allegations, and I guess people are starting to question where are these reports coming from? Who are these anonymous people who keep coming up with fresh claims against Silvercorp, and what are their motivations? I mean, it's clear they've admitted that they're short selling the stock, so they stand to gain if the share price goes down. But I suppose people are still very nervous about Chinese companies listed in Canada and the US. So really, when investors are nervous, there can be sharp swings in share prices either way.
What is the next step for Silvercorp to take?
Well, the most obvious next step for them to take is they've convened a special committee of 3 independent directors from their board to investigate what they said initially was who was behind these claims, but now they've slightly modified that to say that the independent committee is also looking into whether any of these claims are true or not. They've also hired KPMG Forensics to investigate the whole matter and find out whether any of these claims do in fact hold any water. And one of the independent directors, Paul Simpson, he's a securities lawyer based in Vancouver. He told me that they realize the urgency that they have to approach this with, and KPMG already has people feet on the ground in China conducting their own investigations. But he says that the conclusion of this investigation is likely to come in days or weeks, not months. He wouldn't give a specific date, but it's important that they do hurry up and publish the findings of the independent committee and KPMG forensics. And then I suppose also going on in the background, a whole slew of parties are investigating who's behind all these anonymous allegations. And Silvercorp said that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police are involved in that. Even the Federal Bureau of Investigations is involved in that. The British Columbia Securities Commission, the SEC in the US are all trying to hunt down who's making all these allegations. And if KPMG finds that they're all based on lies and not fact, and all these authorities and Silvercorp are able to establish the identity of Silvercorp's assailants, then I suppose Silvercorp would certainly have an interest in pursuing them legally, because there's potentially quite a big libel case that whoever is behind the claims might have to answer to.
Thank you, Matthew, for your time. That's the show for today. Join us again next week for more news and insight on mining in the Americas. I'm Martin Zhuwakinyu for Creamer Media in Johannesburg.